We're at the North American International Auto Show, checking out the all-new Chevrolet Blazer. This is Chevrolet's new SUV, and it looks to be slated in terms of size between the Equinox and the Traverse. It actually might be closer in size to the Equinox. You'll see a lot of these design elements have been inspired by the Camaro, and it has this very sporty appearance. You'll notice we have a chrome grille that runs along all the way from the headlight clusters right to the middle, with the Chevy emblem right in the middle. And here's some kind of front camera for 360-degree camera system. Projection beam headlamps. These are the actual headlights actually. Those are just daytime running lights. These are the headlight cluster. This is the headlight cluster with the indicator right below it, I believe. And over here on this model, we have what looks to be 21-inch wheels. Blazer badging. And we have what is called a floating roofline, where you have these black pillars to kind of make it look like the roof is floating. Here is the mirror with the 360-degree camera below it, and these door handles are very reminiscent of current generation Chevrolet products. As we step inside, you'll notice the interior looks fairly modern and has a lot of angular elements going for it. You'll notice we have an angular design on the infotainment system. This mirror has a really cool shape to it. Looks very futuristic. And you'll notice the sunroof is actually a panoramic sunroof. I don't think we can activate it right now, just because the car's not on. Here's a start-stop button. We're going to try to activate it, but obviously the key's not in. On the gauge cluster, you'll notice that we have the tachometer on this side, the engine temperature, as well as a fuel gauge on this side, as well as a large screen right in the middle, a full color screen. On the steering wheel, you'll notice we have the cruise control settings. Here we have collision avoidance. Here we have heated steering wheel. I'm not exactly sure why they put this function on the steering wheel. The collision avoidance kind of seems like something you wouldn't want to accidentally tap while you're driving. Here we have the call buttons, voice control, and more buttons to control the center digital cluster. These air conditioning vents look pretty unique. It's actually interesting that they put it down here. Oh, they actually turn as well, so I guess this is for getting more cold air in. And oh no, not exactly sure. I think this might be for adjusting the temperature. Very cool implementation of temperature adjustment, because I noticed that this is what you actually turn to close the vent. This one has ventilated seats as well as heated seats. Here are the controls for the air conditioning. And here are the cup holders. You have one slightly larger cup holder and one slightly smaller cup holder. Here we have settings for the drive modes, park assist, lane keep assist, wireless charging. And I like the materials they used on the seat. You'll notice you have perforated leather and this nice stitching design that runs throughout. Looks really cool. And let's step into the back. You'll really appreciate how nice the driver's cockpit looks from back here. Here we have power outlet. Here we have USB-C as well as a standard USB outlet. And here we have the heated seats controller. And you have that tan leather element going out throughout the door as well. Here we have plastic, whereas this is a nice soft touch tan leather, if it is actually leather. And here's just so you can appreciate how large the sunroof is. It falls right below the rear passenger's lap. That's where it ends. The back of their lap. So these are the rear cup holders. They're surprisingly not that deep. They kind of look very shallow. Probably you could comfortably fit a small coffee in here if your goal is to not spill that coffee. If you get anything larger, you'll notice that my finger doesn't go very deep in here, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to protect. But it does have these rubberized elements over here that kind of, I guess, will hold your cup even if it's of a larger size. Let's step into the back so we can appreciate the trunk space that we get, which I'm hoping is slightly larger than the Equinox.
We were talking about something else earlier, and you're getting money from maybe. One of them to do that.
You'll notice it is actually slightly bigger than the Equinox. From my initial perspective, I'm not exactly sure because I don't have the numbers on me, but you do have a sloping roof on this, which might take away some of the vertical space you might get. Here's a spare tire. And as you can see, it's a 60/40 configuration back here. You have these levers that can give you more cargo space by pulling the seats down actually. This is the Premier trim, and you'll notice we have LEDs running on the trunk lid as well as towards the extreme right and left of the taillight cluster. I believe these might be LEDs as well, and that might host the indicator. This might be the stop brake light. And here's this little appreciation of the black elements that create this floating roofline. This has been a look at the all-new Chevrolet Blazer at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit.